digging ditches. And 2 minutes in. Patrick! Howdy, Patrick. Great to see you, sir. Piper on the 45. Howdy and hello. Y'all know y'all don't have to wait for the music to end before y'all can start saying some stuff. Come on now. Guys who are working from across the street. Hey, at least they're finally going to move that truck from out from in front of my mailbox. That way I don't have to light their truck on fire to get my mail. Steve and Miss Kathy, howdy. I'm not going to light their car on fire because I can't get to my mail. We just go out there to the road and kindly intercept the mail guy. And loudly point out that it'd be really nice if they didn't block my mailbox just because they're working on the neighbor's house across the street. Took my old Est cat to the vet today. Same heart murmur from a year ago. He's a Siamese and he's 18 years old. Most of them live to about 10 years old. They start getting past 14 and you start going like, damn, this cat ain't dying. He's 18. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Think about it. A house cat turns 18, but it's one that has lived indoor and outdoor. And the vet says, oh, he's got a heart murmur. Some people freak out and go, oh my God, we got to spend thousands of dollars to make sure that this cat's heart gets fixed. Holly said he passed up old age 5 years ago. What in the hell? Don't worry about us finding out about a heart murmur now. If he kicks the bucket, he kicks the bucket. Will I be sad? Sure. Because he's a lovable, adorable, shedding like crazy cat. Steve, very, very easily, yeah, it could be. I mean, no big deal. Speaking of borrowed time, I was looking forward greatly today to reading the Briar Report blog, and then it never came out. It's still up, the one from yesterday. Had to make sure to get that into the first 10 minutes. That way, I know if Phil's watching this on replay, he can go, damn it. In case y'all are wondering, the last of the Canucos. I mean, they're decent. For being a cheap cigar, they're decent. Steve, I know I'm on borrowed time. You know, people told me I wouldn't make it to 21. Here I am at 48. I think I've outkicked my coverage. I know what it really is. I'm just too mean to damn well die. It's not because the world hadn't tried. It's because they just hadn't figured it out yet. Greg, I know exactly what you're saying. That's gas prices where Greg Tunneltake lives. I don't mind the sentiment because, you know, I remember here in this area, gas was, and I'm using the same exact gas station for the two prices, $1.67, and right now it's $4.09, but last week it was $4.19. I filled up at $4.19, but not to lie to you, I saw it at $4.19 filled up. Didn't expect it to drop 10 cents overnight. A little pissed off when I went back by it the next day and it was 10 cents cheaper. Well, what can you do? Oh, and for all those people that like to say, oh, the Republicans only like the gas companies, just remember where a good chunk of this change that you're paying for gas is going. That's right, the oil companies. Steve, I'm not so sure it's hell don't want me. I think it's more like hell's afraid of what'll happen if I get there. I was an electrician. I do know how to work on air conditioning. You know what they say, when hell freezes over, I've got plans. And then, of course, like Mark Twain, I believe his famous quote was, "If I cannot drink bourbon and smoke cigars in heaven, then I shall not go." Might as well tack the word pipes in there somewhere too. What would be the purpose of heaven if you can't have a little fun? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm not trying to disturb anybody with that question. So being that this is a long show and the Canuco is not going to make it that far, I have a question. Will it be squadron leader? Or will it be the end of a bag of Engine 99? This being a sealed tin that I got, crazily enough, from Mr. John Knight. Who last night canceled their show. That's right. If y'all missed the Nashville Mafia show last night, don't worry, you didn't actually miss anything. But then when I wake up, I find out that Ray Lolita died last night, or this morning, or at some point. When I finally got around to looking at the news, I found out that Ray Lolita died. Or Ray Liotta. Good fellas. And I believe he might have been the T-1000 in Terminator 2. Yeah, 2. One of the very few sequels that I find was better than the original. I really thought Terminator 2 was better than the original Terminator. That is open for debate if y'all feel that that deserves any debate. But how did I get there? Oh, that's right, because Nashville Mafia canceled their show. And then an actor from Goodfellas dies. Don't worry, I realize I go off on wild tangents. I go off on wild tangents so much that I practically had that as a alter ego for one of those YouTube channels. Howdy, Derek. Great to see you, sir. So yeah, interestingly enough, yeah. Lately in the Breyer Report, he says, I'm not going to put up any cigar news until after what is known as the Vegas Big Smoke. It was Robert Patrick. I thought for sure it was Ray Liotta. Looked a lot like him. I'm not gonna disagree with you. I'll just look it up later. Robert Patrick. Okay. Hey, you know what? If it was Robert Patrick, as long as it wasn't Robert Pattinson or whatever his name is. You know, the kid that plays Dead. He does real well at playing Dead. The only two movies I think I've ever seen him in, or two sets of movies, I guess. There was that whole Twilight thing. Might have been a better movie without the lead actress being Stoneface. She has one look. It's like constipation of the face. Oh, and he played in one of the Harry Potters where they had the Triwizard Tournament or whatever, whichever one that one happened to be. He ended up coming home dead. Like I said, he only plays dead. He played a vampire. So, alright, fine. He's undead. Wait, Robert Patrick is also the new Batman, or Robert Patterson? If Robert Patterson is the new Batman, I am canceling all DC love. It's over. Superman, go turn in your Green Lantern plastic ring. It's done. It's over. Ugh. Come on. He wouldn't even make a good James Bond. Much less Batman. I think I will miss that movie. Even when it comes out on DVD, I will probably just say, nah. I'll have to ask my wife. She's probably heard of it.
What?
Robert Pattinson, or whatever his name is,
Pattinson? Yeah.
is going to be Batman in 2022.
I did hear that, I think.
To which I'm going, no.
Whatever.
Maybe he could play the Riddler. Batman.
I don't think he's who I would pick either for Batman, but
I mean, they only had one blonde Batman so far. That was Val Kilmer. And you know what? They dyed his hair a little bit darker than it was naturally.
So I don't think Robert Pattinson is actually a blonde.
Yeah.
If that's what you're gauging it on. It's not who I would pick, but it does appeal to the tween era of...
I guess. Yeah, they also like Stoneface, whatever her name is.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart.
That's right, Kristen Stewart. Only person in her family with any acting chops is Patrick Stewart. They're not even related. Or at least they're probably not related. She definitely doesn't have Patrick's accent. Though, according to what I've read, they both like the same type of person in bed. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. It won't be me either way. Sparkling water, lemon, 0 calories, no sodium.
I've just had one of the most frustrating days in my entire life.
Holly says I need to stop speaking to her because she's probably going to shoot me if I don't. Actually, what she said was, I've just had one of the most frustrating days in my entire life. What I heard was, shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me. I have guns. And she's over there smiling, so I'm not far from the truth.
It's not what I said.
What was that movie I would be starring in right now? Oh, that's right. The Green Mile. Dead Man Walking. I do push the limits. Somehow I get away with it. If I knew how, I would literally make a YouTube channel all about it. How to talk trash and get away with it. Oh yeah, that would be the channel. Huva Ilta Boris. Great to see you, sir. No, the guy who wrote the soundtrack to Chariots of Fire died on the 17th. And Ray Liotta.
Really?
Yeah. No more Goodfellas.
That's sad.
See, at least she knew who Ray Liotta was. Steve, I try to be careful. But then something on the inside just says, no, you've got to play around with the switches a little bit. See how far you can push it before you really get in trouble. I don't know why. I would love to know why. But my body just says, you're going to do it. All I can guarantee is there are no guarantees. Howdy, Matthew. Great to see you, sir. By the way, Matthew has himself a nice little thing going for Pipe Week, which is coming up soon. There will be more details coming. I expected to see some in the blog today. You know, the blob, but no, the blob was on hold. I hope Phil's all right. But I've seen that he's retweeted stuff today, so unless Bill got a hold of the computer and has gone wild, then Phil is still okay. Ooh, a guy utilizing the pipe puzzle for June. Don't worry, I will fail. The last one where it had last names, I was able to figure out exactly two. And it took me so much longer than everybody else, but I did figure out Einstein. I don't know why I figured out Einstein. And I was thinking you left out Tolkien, and then I found him at number 17, and I was able to say, oh, yeah, Tolkien. Oh, Boris, sorry. Today it is a Kanuko. It was sent to me by Steve and Miss Kathy, and I still need to do something exceptionally well for them. Oh yeah, Steve. No more bull riding, brother. You're getting a little too old for that. So, Matthew, trust me. The whole thing of anyone can do it, if it's got letters and spelling involved, I can't do it. But if it's some sort of math and logic puzzle, I'm all over it. It's this dyslexia thing. It screws with me all the time. Normally it hits harder when I'm tired. But if you're trying to think how to spell a word and you're asking me, you're so far off base, you might as well just forget that it existed. I'm so bad that spell check sometimes even says, to hell with it. We don't know what you're trying to type. We'll just go with whatever it was that you thought you typed. Not good. Not good. Not good. Just, it's not. Boris, there's no might have. Kathy is definitely meaner than any bull. Because she's not going to put him in the hospital. She'll just get him to that point where he wants to go and then won't let him. And just when he thinks he's going to get better, right back to that point of, told you not to do it. And remember, Steve's eyesight's gotten a little worse, as he has pointed out to us. So he's in the same situation I am. Kathy and Holly are probably both better shots than Donald or Steve. Not try to start any fights there. Just make a statement of fact. As your eyesight gets worse and worse, it's harder to aim at anything more than just that general direction that you know you're supposed to. As long as they're close enough, double up buck does the trick, though. I'm trying to remember how many little pellets are in a double-aught buck. 8 to 10 .32 caliber balls, basically. So just slightly less than a 9mm. But they all get there about the same time. Screw it, just put the slugs in there. Wind alone will knock them down. Steve, how come that does not surprise me? I know Holly's a better shot with a pistol than I am. I just can't see that damn far. Her eyesight is so much better, even with my glasses on. I need new glasses. Probably be working on that next Thursday. Maybe. Probably. Holly's one of those that could stand there in 6-inch heels and still single arm a 45 and just drop it down on target like it's nothing. I've seen full-size men that can't single arm a 45 in work boots. She'd do it in the 6-inch heels. Yeah. And for any of y'all who are wondering why she would even go to a range in 6-inch heels, think about it. Bad guys coming at you. You don't really have time to go change. Hey, time out. I'm going to go change my shoes so that I can shoot you better. Nah, you pull the gun, go to work. Doesn't matter what your shoes are. But standing in 6-inch heels might throw you off a little bit the first couple of times you try it. See, Steve, I'm right there with you, brother. Oh, by the way, the Remington 700, which they said was getting a bad name, the company that bought them out has really revamped the Remington 700. It's back to what it should be. Shouldn't ever need to have another shotgun ever. Yes, but Boris, you'd look sexy shooting yourself in the leg in 6-inch heels. It's the beard. It's definitely the beard. I have beard envy, I can admit it. I am working on my own again, though. Actually, once I shaved it off, I got a spot right here that was all irritated. And I had to wait until that one patch calmed down. Otherwise, when I let the hair grow back in that area, it would just come up in with clumps of dead skin. And I don't think anybody wants to come into a cigar shop and look at a guy who's got a chunk of dead skin hanging off in his mustache and go, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy something from that guy. He looks like he has leprosy." No, they tend to turn around and walk away. Matthew, it's been fun having you here, brother. Stay safe. And if you gotta run, just make sure you run away from danger unless you're trained to run at it. I'm too old to run. Too old and beat up to run anymore. I'll just move with purpose. But yes, y'all all heard it here first. There is going to be a Pipe Week giveaway that is based upon the June puzzle. That means y'all all have a better shot at it than I do. I think I've completed all of one of Matthew's monthly puzzles. Just one. But they're fun for me to tinker with. I like attempting it, knowing full well I'm not going to do it. Oh, goodness. Is it officially summer where everybody else is, or do y'all still have spring? It's pretty much officially summer here in Houston. Though the meteorologists say that summer doesn't start until June. Well, Boris, English to finish might be a little difficult, yeah. Here in the Houston area, we know that it's summer after it hits 3 straight days of 90 plus degrees. Once it's done that, now it might dip back into the 70s briefly. It might hold into the 80s for a while. But once it gets above 90 degrees for 3 straight days, forget it, it's summer. And then there's that other month that we call August. That's not summer, that's oh hell. In fact, for anybody who's thinking they should come visit Texas, and they pick the month of August to do so because it's during the summer vacation, don't. It's just not fun. Ah, yes. I'm not sure about her being bipolar, but she's definitely schizophrenic. We had a lot of rain and some good wind and some storms. Howdy, Everett. Great to see you, sir. I smell Krantz. Probably just haunted. Oh, it is Krantz. If there was a prize for guessing correct, I actually win one. All right, 45. You take care. Have a good dinner. We'll still be here when you get done eating, probably. But maybe after the dishes are done, you can come back out and join us. Just don't upset Mama. It's not worth it. Now, of course, we're tailgating for Robert. And I gotta tell you, I was laughing hysterically as Robert remade that song into what it now has become. I mean, I could give Holly a little bit of that original song and she would know exactly what song it is. Oh, but Karen and the clay pipe, and there was Phil on his lathe. Oh no, I know how to touch it up. And yes, it was canoeing a little bit. Boris, that's a good way to put it. When thermic summer begins varies. But August feels more close related to thermite than thermic. Gets so hot, those little Vietnamese priests in orange robes spontaneously burst into flame. Not true. It just sounded funny in my head. Oh yeah, Patrick, absolutely. I mean, you want to laugh, but you also kind of want to pour bleach in your eyes and see if that will remove the retina burn. But now that I see how Robert's doing his music video setup, I'm gonna have to see if I can't help him out with some lyrics. Cause I have Weird Al'd a few songs in my time. Holly hates it when I do it to country music. She likes country music. And then again, she hates it when I do it to any music because she doesn't like me screwing with other songs. Sorry, let me make that sentence fully factual. Howdy, Todd. Great to see you, sir. Oh, Patrick, I was at work and there was nobody there, so I had it turned all the way up and I was just listening along. Just laughing out loud. Absolutely hilarious. And Lord knows, I do like a good joke. Todd, there's no late to tailgate, brother. And nobody's ever late. If you get here at all, that's great. I'm just trying to make it so that people who are out and about and thinking, man, what time does Robert go live tonight? They can jump in here and hang out, and maybe smoke a bowl or do their taxes or whatever while they're just listening in. Late has no meaning, so there's no reason to apologize, definitely. Oh, Boris. Ugh. Boris says, thermic summer in Finland is when daily mean temp is over 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Meaning it is always summer in Houston, except for 3 days of the year. We get a cold snap somewhere between January and February that drops temperatures drastically for people here in Houston. Other than that, it would always be summer. Which tells me I can never go visit Boris in January. I don't own enough clothes to go visit Boris in January. I would be like that nitrogen frozen ice cream that's now a big thing, where they pour liquid nitrogen on the ingredients and it immediately freezes. I've still never tried any of that. Part of it's because it's too damn expensive. Part of it's because I'm not sure I want to really trust things that were flash frozen by liquid nitrogen. I mean, what happens if you get that one little spot of liquid nitrogen that somehow tunneled in and wasn't able to escape? That freezes your tongue instantly. Boris, I'd be up a creek going to Finland. Something tells me that if I could magically transfer myself from a February day here to an August day there, I would still find it extremely cold. Because I would end up picking the wrong day to do it. I'd end up with a warm spell here when I did it and a cold spell there, and I'd still be the only person walking around with a jacket and long pants and 5 shirts, 3 pairs of socks. Boris would be hanging out and wondering how come I'm acting like it's cold when it's so hot. About the only place I could go in Finland that I wouldn't find cold would be a sauna. Of course, consequently, it might also be the only place I could go in Finland where I'd be like, it's too damn hot in here. Oh, I've had the Dippin' Dots freeze-dried ice cream. Yeah. Boris, I feel bad for you having all that cold weather. But I know what it would feel like if you were here. You'd be wondering who changed the weather to, what the hell is this? Surface of the sun? But it is fun to see where people in the other parts of the world are sitting there going like, hey, it's hot here. Really? Of course, when they go, hey, it's cold here, and I'm like, oh, that's painful. That's painful to even think about. When Boris says something's cold, I believe him. That and all y'all Canadians, you know it. Where it says, here people curse that 77 degrees Celsius is too damn hot. Well, 77 degrees Celsius would be too damn hot. How about 77 degrees Fahrenheit? Probably what you meant to type. That's all right. And he said, but 177 degrees Fahrenheit in a sauna is too damn cold. I mean, 77 degrees Celsius is probably pretty close to 177 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when it's just too damn hot to even go outside. Celsius, not the Fahrenheit. Holly would love it here if it never got above 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Her reply was, damn straight. You know, and right now, let's see, people in Australia and Chile, you know, like Glenn and Jose, they're starting to tuck into winter. It still doesn't get like Boris's winter. Maybe Jose's winter does. I mean, but Jose's up in the mountains. Is what it is. Had a company call me and they were tried to talk me into moving to Nebraska. And my first thought was, it gets cold as hell up in Nebraska. I don't think I want to go that far north. Oh, with my bad knee, it would be painful for me. I guess that's the best way to put it. Painful. So lately I've been seeing Boris, that's possible. Everett might have colder winters. Dan probably does. But I'm going to say not by much. I've seen where y'all have had some conversations where one of y'all's colder one day and one of y'all's colder the next. Though I will say that I went out and smoked a big pipe during the coldest winter that anybody in Houston can ever remember. And the only person here who can verify that is Boris. So I was going to say some words about how I've been seeing how YouTube is back on their demonetization kick of anybody's platform that happens to be doing anything with pipes or tobacco or cigars or whatever. Hey, they did that to me months ago. They told me they can't monetize. I'll never be able to monetize unless I clean up my act and my show. And I said, yeah, well, don't want your money anyways. Just don't put any commercials on my channel and I guess we'll be fine. Yeah, Boris, I know you were out there and it was colder where you were, but $15 was cold enough for here in Houston. It doesn't do it very often, but when it does it, it gets cold in Houston. Of course, luckily, 3 days later, it was back up to like 70 degrees. There he is, Robert, who hates the world today. With his tongue bite. Yes, Robert, we've already discussed your video. It was hilarious.
The husband of one of the teachers that was killed died of a heart attack today. Jesus Christ.
I just,
Can you believe that?
yeah, I do. I'm sure it's a result of being good.
They have 4 kids. So they have, there's 4 of them.
Mailman has not come by yet.
You know how they have to identify the kids? By their shoes.
I don't want to hear any more about it.
Uh-oh, Robert's got a new video that's uploading now. I'll have to check that out after Robert goes live. I'll have to see about collaborating with Robert at some point. I could twist lyrics pretty good. But I'll leave all the singing to Robert. When he goes all screechy on the high notes, it just makes me giggle. That's okay. I get all screechy on the high notes too. Holly has told me so. So it has to be true. So the Canuco is through. Guess that means I gotta open this squadron leader. Wait, 45, come on now. You just went to dinner. Don't make Mama mad by eating a short supply. Now, I have never had squadron leader. Been several times I've had it in the cart and decided, oh, but if I get this other one, I can get 2 instead of just 1. Ah, okay, so you put your construction hand style eating on. Now I know. It's one of the few things nurses do better than construction hands. They eat fast. Mostly because they don't have time to actually sit down and actually eat a meal. Whew. Look at that nice, yummy goodness. Squadron leader is Derek's favorite. Well, that's a good thing. Smells good. Smells very good. At least to me it smells good. I'm willing to say Robert would go, I could see it now. He could take the song My Maria and change the words to Latakia. Go ahead, Robert. Just food for thought. Ooh, smoking folklore from C&D. Just to get rid of it, was it? Ah, James Stumbo, howdy, sir. And you're smoking a tobacco. Good choice, James. Good choice. So I'm doing a quick drying technique, which basically involves picking up a ball of it and just kind of crumbling it and letting it fall back into the tin. I'll never get a new tin to light anywhere near fast enough if I don't dry it out some way, shape, or form. Derek, the urinal cake tin note and chemical taste, it does not sit well with me. Yeah. That's always the problem with small batches. You just never know what you're going to get. And it's too late to return it once you open it. Oh, by the way, Robert, the country song My Maria, which I don't know who sang it originally, it doesn't have the ultra high notes of that. I think it was Fiona Apple's song that you destroyed for or made better. I mean, depends upon how you look at it. Robert, sometimes I do sit when I pee. I'm also trying to drop a deuce at the same time. Might as well get them both out the way.
Where we're going?
Robert has schooled me that that would be a Brooks and Dunn song. Well, you might need your backup dancer named Karen for that song. I can hear Robert now. Latakia, I hate you. And yes, Hall, that's where we were going, because that's where chat took it.
Chat needs to clean their minds.
We're too filthy-minded for my wife.
It's gotta be a guy thing.
Like she doesn't know me. Oh, goodness. James. Oh. You hit him back, I see. Good man, James. Good man. Squadron leader. Or was it Cliff? I don't know. I did see Cliff with some firearms recently. That was a fun video. Good draw. Tastes pretty good on the cold draw. Unlike Robert, I like Latakia. Probably didn't let it dry enough, but if it tastes like barbecue, then I'm good. This does. It's got a surprising smokiness, like as if it was, I mean, not quite brisket. Patrick likes Latakia too. Oh, by the way, Robert, I think I finally figured you out a cigar that would not be too smoky. It's still be a real cigar without being like an infused something or other. The Alec Bradley Project 40. I actually spent a lot of time thinking about it. Well, Steve, I really do like this poker. It's a hell of a good smoking pipe. But no, not Swisher Sweet, Robert. Project 40. And not the Project 40 Maduro. Also, it's not terribly expensive, so even if you hated it, it's not like you're going to be out a flat stack of bills to go do it. About $6. I'll just type it in. The Alec Bradley Project 40. It'll have notes of black tea, kind of like iced tea, and notes of honeysuckle, which is kind of weird. But when you're thinking notes of honeysuckle, think, well, if you've ever walked past a field or a fence that had a honeysuckle bush growing on it, but you're across the street from it, and the wind's blowing at you, you get that little bit of a honeysuckle note. Not too peppery. Not super strong. Now, is it going to be one of those, oh my God, yes, I got to try this one. This is the ultimate cigar? Probably not. But if you're just trying to get a cigar that you more or less like the flavors of, and you're someone like Robert that doesn't like all that extra smokiness, then it's probably going to do pretty good for you. Comes in 4 sizes. That's a Robusto, a Toro, a Churchill, and a Gordo. I've smoked all 4 sizes, and I liked them all. But it's not one of those that I'm like crazy about. But it's decent if you're just having a cigar at lunch and you're just wanting to be able to say, yeah, I had a cigar, it's fine. It's a decent stick. And it's not going to break the bank, which is always a good thing. I thought about some of the other ones, but every time I came up with something that I thought would be pretty close to where Robert would smoke it, I kept coming back with, oh, but that's got a peppery note that or it's got that smokiness that I think Robert's going to be like, no, not going to work for me. These damn flies are going to get killed if I have to barbecue them with this cigar lighter or not. Well, it's probably all that tongue bite you've got, Robert. I'm not judging. I try to work within what your palate will like. And I try to figure out from what you're smoking in a pipe blend and say, oh, well, yeah, this could work. Yeah, but Everett, old Joe Krantz doesn't suck either. Yes, I don't sneeze loud if I can afford not to. Howdy, Jose Golf Piper. How you doing today? How's the weather up there in the Dallas area? Doing good. That's good to hear. It's very good to hear. Don't worry, I slowed down chat so people can say howdy and hello. Yeah, Jose, I got a feeling it's going to be a hot summer in Texas. And for Texas people to say it's going to be a hot summer, that's going somewhere. I just hope we don't have a bad hurricane season. Because Louisiana and Florida tends to get most of that. Hey Todd, if she knows what's good for her, she does. I'm sure someone's going to take offense to that statement. I'm not worried. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, Jose, I am smoking Squadron Leader with the full-blown warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Somewhere on here, if it was sold in California. Oh, look, there it is. It's on the back. Well, Jose, I already had a cigar. I was smoking a Canuco earlier. When I had to roll back to only one tailgate a week due to time constraints and scheduling, I decided that if I'm going to stay at 5 o'clock and 2.5 hours later, so still another hour from now is when Robert goes live, that I should just go ahead and mix pipes in too. I don't want everybody to feel like, oh yeah, he's a cigar guy, but hanging out on the YTPC. Okay, I am a cigar guy. I can admit it. And yes, I do hang out on the YTPC. But I do enjoy smoking a pipe. There's times when I enjoy smoking a pipe more than I enjoy smoking a cigar. But I get paid to smoke cigars. Sort of, kind of. In a weird sense. I mean, I have to know what it is that my product tastes like so I can try and sell it to somebody who comes in. Every once in a while you get those customers that doesn't even know what they want. Well, if all they want is a cigar that tastes like fried chicken, you better try and find it. At least before you tell them, nah, I don't have anything like that. Jose, you're not wrong. There's a very large group of people that smoke both pipes and cigars. Todd, that sounds a whole lot like a Lancero. Long and skinny like a pencil. That sounds exactly like a Lancero. And there's several makers that make really good Lanceros. One of these days when I'm at work, I'll have to put together a video showing y'all various different sizes and shapes to help with the ability to actually pick out what I'm talking about. If I say, oh yeah, this is a Toro, or this is a Perfecto, or this is a Solomon. Well, Todd, if I knew enough information, I would be able to find them, or at least figure out what it was that you used to smoke. But if you're saying that they're about as big around as a pencil and kind of long, about the same as a pencil, then that sounds a lot like it's a Lancero of some sort. Because that's about what a Lancero size and shape is. I don't smoke many Lanceros, mostly because I smoke with a wet palate. And they just plug up. And 9 times out of 10, then they tar up. You get that tar taste in your mouth, and you might as well throw the stick out. My opinion. But if I had a picture of the band or enough descriptive time, I could probably figure it out. But I'd need to really, really just be looking at it. But you're saying you can't find them anymore. Unfortunately, there's a lot of brands out there that have discontinued use, very like McClellan's. If they either weren't selling enough or it became too expensive to continue to produce their product at a reasonable price. Or the government changes the rules and the FDA makes you have to pay a certain amount just to have it approved to be sold anywhere. So I'll tell you a funny story. A phone call I got the other day. This guy calls up to the shop I was working at. And he says, I was just in one of your local grocery stores. And I saw they had a case over there with cigars in it. And they had Monte Cristos. Are those real Monte Cristos? Yes, sir, those are real Monte Cristos. being well aware of which story was talking about, they are Monte Cristos. So those are Cubans? No, sir, those are not Cubans. Well, how could they be Monte Cristos if they're not Cubans? Sorry, sir, but there are all kind of brands that have roots from back in Cuba that are no longer only produced in Cuba. But no, you will not find a Cuban in a shop in the United States that is for sale. It's illegal. Oh, the Herrera Esteli Lanceros are really good. If they don't have a band, that's going to make things a little more difficult. $0.75. Sounds like it might have been one of those cheroots, like what gave Eastwood such a good scowl. So the guy goes on for about 5 minutes on Cuban this, Cuban that. And then he asked me, oh, well, there were Cohibas in there. Are those real Cubans? They are real Cohibas, but they are not from Cuba. Again, back to the... If it's for sale in a store in the United States, it is not a Cuban. He asks, how can he get a Cuban? Legally, now that I work at a cigar shop, I'm not allowed to tell others about websites to find Cuban cigars online. I told him if he will open up a Google app and start looking, he will probably find them somewhere, or he can fly to Cuba and get them. And he wants me to tell him all about what specific law, how many he can bring back. And I'm like, look, dude, I don't have the paperwork right in front of me. I can't tell you how many you can bring back. And then he says, well, I heard Joe Biden was going to relax the embargo. And I asked him, I physically asked him, do you actually believe anything that any politician has ever told you? When he said yes, I was about ready to hang up on him. But no, I continued to think, this dude's smoking crack. I finally got off the phone with him, like I said, after about 20 minutes, just thinking, this has got to have been a joke. Nobody is that naive. I mean, oh, we're going to stop selling cigars in the United States completely because we can't sell Cubans in the United States. No, we'll just go over to Nicaragua or Dominican and we'll put up a new factory and we'll make them there. I mean, nobody's going to give up trying to sell to 330 million people. But yeah, I finally told him, come on in, just come on into the shop. I've got all the brands that are there in Cuba. None of them that are here are Cuban, but they are all really from those same brands. Romeo y Julieta, Monte Cristo, H. Upman, Cohiba, Joyo de Monterrey, oh, Boris, there would be no problem with the Monte Cristos or anything that is listed as Imperial Tobacco owned by Altadis. If the embargo ceased to exist tomorrow, my store would have them in the shop by the end of the week. End of the week being Sunday. I can guarantee my shop would have them that fast. Because Altadis owns 50% of the tobacco in Cuba. And their stores would be first. They'd be having planes going left, right, and sideways out of Cuba just as fast as they could ship that stuff just to get it to us in time. And believe me, Cohiba would be right behind them. People think that there's trademark issues. Actually, there's not a trademark issue. The company's just split into two divisions. One would be like Monte Cristo Cuba, and the other one would be Monte Cristo something else. But so it's two sides. They would just combine it and say, forget it. All the money's going into the same pocket anyways. Todd, I have heard of the Al Capone cigars. They're little bitty things. Sold in a pack, kind of like cigarettes. And They are not good enough to be sold in my shop. I mean, it's a cigar. It's flavored. It's been dipped in, I think, cognac, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay. Well, without a band, I'd be looking for a long time to try and figure it out specifically. I know of a shop here in the Houston area that says they have a house brand, and it is quite literally a large marketing campaign from one of the larger suppliers of the cigars. And when they've made a certain number of cigars, they will put some together that have no bands as seconds, because there was some little imperfection somewhere that they didn't want to put their name on it. And this place buys those seconds and puts them out as their house brand. People buy them all the time, not knowing that the actual cigar that they're buying with the band and the branding is actually less expensive than what they're paying for in that shop. I think it's hilarious. And I'm fairly certain there's other companies out there that have done such things. I mean, there's too many places that say, oh, it's a house brand cigar, but it's got no band. It's never stored in a box. They put them out on big trays and just let you pick them up. They keep them at a decent price, but they also make a little bit of money on them by not telling you what they actually are. Another interesting cigar fact right now is that where I'm working, we don't have any LFD on the shelves. We don't have any. And that's because their supply chain was struggling so bad during COVID that 80% of the time, boxes of their product sat empty on our shelves. But they've been back to negotiations with the parent company, LFD, La Flor Dominicana. Good cigar, especially if you like a good strong cigar. Well, Todd, best I could tell you is they were probably selling you a factory second of some sort. Not necessarily that was the name of it. But what they were getting for a quarter for a box worth, they were selling it to y'all for 75 cents. Well, Steve, Canucos are actually, they put a band on it. So if you're buying a cigar and it's got a band, even if somebody's saying that's a house brand, that is a legit brand. They're not going to go back and put the put another band on somebody else's cigar, because then it starts costing more. Now, La Flor Dominicana makes damn good cigars. In fact, 4 or 5 years ago, they had the #1 cigar of the year with what's called the Andalusian Bull. But seeing as none of their cigars are in any of the Casa de Montecristo shops, that's one of those cigars that they're going to have to figure out a way to produce because people still want that cigar, and it gets ridiculous prices on a secondary sale, similar to the way Odie will buy bourbons and then he'll put it back on the market for someone else to buy with a big markup. Andalusian Bulls are what, $15 a stick or something like that before taxes, and I've seen them go on the open market for $50, $60 each. Hell, I remember buying a box of 10 for $120. If I could get $60 a stick, it'd be crazy not to buy a box of 10 of them. Sell 2 and you already got your whole box price back. Sell 4, you just got your next box and you still have 6 to smoke. Now, it's a damn good cigar. I like it. But if they're not available anywhere, and there's all kind of cigars that are lined up by LFD. Let's see about putting that on mute for another hour. 30 minutes from now, Robert's going to be live. Time for the chainsaw. At least it sounds like a chainsaw. And it's almost time for bug season again. Hey, y'all remember all those bug noises that I was dealing with last year? Uh-huh. They're coming. Oh yeah, the DL series and the Digger. Yep. Good sales. Good sales. But empty boxes. And the way the bigger corporations look at these things, every spot with an empty box, we could fill up with some other product, and at least we can make money out of that spot. So spots that are empty 80% of the time, you're going to take an 80% market loss just by keeping that available to any company. No matter how good, no matter how big, no matter how perfect that cigar is. Of course, in the cigar industry, we also look at it as, if you open a box of cigars and you cannot sell that box of cigars inside of a month, then you need to find something else to put in its place. Because 20 to 26 cigars, if you can't sell that many of that specific cigar in a month, then it's not selling fast enough. Bigger shops get a little bit more leeway with that. Oh, by the way, Boris, I have to find a picture. I took a picture the other day just for you. Okay. Here we go, Boris. That's basically the band of the number 6. And as you can see, my local price is $11.15. Make sure to go back up and let you see that band again. So when I said that what you were looking at was not a great big markup, I meant that's pretty close to the exact price I'm paying in Houston. So that's not a bad thing at all. I know it's not a chainsaw, it's a leaf blower. Yeah, Boris, Andalusian Bull is out everywhere. You have to be literally looking at the page when they show up, because they're not going to last very long. Even if I got a box at my shop, 10 cigars, they would not last to the end of the night. They'd be gone. And some cigars are just that good. they will always sell out almost immediately. I can think of about 15 cigars that if it showed up in my shop and I put it out there on the internet that I had it, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning, I wouldn't have any of them by lunch. Boris, I understand. It's kind of a crapshoot. You either have to know that you love that cigar enough that you're going to spend the money for it, or you have to believe that it's a good enough cigar that you're going to allow yourself to spend the money for it. And I've seen people pass up really good cigars because it was just $1 more than they were willing to spend. And then again, I've seen people move money around in their bank account just so that they can afford a whole box. Hell, just the other day I had a couple come in from Denmark. They wanted 4 boxes that would run about $500 each because it's a brand they like, non-Cuban, but they can't get it in Denmark. Legal to transport in, but because of how fast it sells out in Denmark, they just said no. Boris, I think the Andalusian Bull really is worth the price. It was a damn good cigar. Smokes great. Lasts a long time. Very satisfying. When you're done, you're not immediately going, oh, I need another cigar. The flavors were real good. There's really nothing like it on the market. And when it came out, it wasn't even expected to be the #1 cigar of the year, but when they listed it as cigar of the year, people went crazy about it. Hey, that is good news there, Steve. All right, y'all don't sleep or forget this, but Steve and Kathy will be going live on Saturday around 1 p.m. That does make it so that I won't be there because I'll be at work. But if it's real slow, I'll see if I can't stop in for a minute or two. Unfortunately, when I'm at work, they're not paying me there to be watching a YouTube video. They're paying me there to be selling cigars. I would have liked it better had the Andalusian Bull not been Cigar of the Year. Because the secondary market prices wouldn't have jumped like that. And people wouldn't just buy every box they can get their hands on immediately. Which means more people would get to actually enjoy it. I mean, one cigar that I've told people about that never made Cigar of the Year, but runs in that category of as soon as it hits the shop, it's gone, is the CAO Amazon Basin. By far, in my opinion, best cigar CAO ever made. Great cigar. But as soon as a box is even seen in a shop, it's gone. It's gone. And now more people are starting to know about it. So it gets harder and harder to get to even when you do see it. That's one of those cigars that if you ever see it, just go ahead and buy as many as you're allowed to. Or that your pocketbook will allow you to. Because you won't see them every day. It's going to be gone. I could get 20 boxes of it at my shop at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I guarantee I would not have a single box left by 9 o'clock that night. No big deal, but as soon as people hear that it's there, they call their friends, and friends call their friends, and people show up. It's like locusts. They swarm and eat them all up, and then they're gone. You'll never see them again. Unfortunately, with the Amazon Basin, they only can produce it once every 3 years. And they can only produce a certain number. And that number is proportionate to what the tribes in the Amazon Basin actually produce during that particular growing season. And then it's got to be aged and processed and made into that cigar, but they can only do it once every 3 years. And I apologize that these guys don't know how to run a leaf blower enough to be done with it by now. Of course, he probably gets paid by the hour. Oh yeah, Patrick. The crazy thing with the Amazon Basin, a lot of those tribes that are producing the specific strain of tobacco that's used for that cigar, they don't give a crap about money. So you got to figure something else out to barter with them to even get that. One tribe wanted a cow. Whole field of tobacco, we'll take it for a cow. Okay, we'll get you a cow. Yeah, we'll get you 2 or 3. But the tribes, they do rotational growing. So if, let's say that this year was the year they're doing tobacco. Next year they would do one of their other traditional crops. And for sake of argument, we'll say it's corn. It's not corn, but let's just say that it is. And then on the 3rd year, they're going to plant something else. Let's say it was beans. It's not beans, but let's just say that it is. Well, then, there it is, 3 years later, they plant tobacco again. You're not going to get these tribes to change what they do. You can't pay them off. They only need 1 cow. They don't need a freaking herd. So it's like, good Lord. But that's what makes the Amazon Basin such a unique cigar, is that you're only getting those specific strains of tobacco after it's been through the exact process of whatever it is that they grow all on the same land, after it's gone through its rotation. Oh yeah, hey, they finally left. At least there will be no leaf blower for the last 15 minutes. Damn it. Boris, for shame the thought, they will never ban gas engines in the Houston area. At least not while oil is still the most major form of powered equipment. Oh yeah, there should be a noise ordinance after 5 o'clock in the evening. No more damn lawn mowing and crap. Only allowed by special permission directly after storms, so that we can finish clearing it up in a short time. Hell, after a hurricane, they'll run those chainsaws 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, until they can clear out enough to get down streets. Well, if I had to say thank you to the Nashville Mafia for sending me Squadron Leader and Innerdale, I think I will say thank you, Nashville Mafia, for sending me Squadron Leader. Innerdale tasted like soap. And I don't say that many bad words, do I? Okay, maybe I deserved it. Only allowed between 1,700 and 1,800 on weekdays. I have this feeling that wouldn't work too well here in Houston. Mostly because they've got guns too. Derek, I never said that Innerdale wasn't interesting and fun, but it just really wasn't for me. Howdy Smoking KY Piper. How is Kentucky this evening? Everett, judging from what you normally smoke, I'm going to say you would not like Innerdale. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to keep you out of the supply and keep the supply heavy and out there all over the place. I'm saying that because I think you wouldn't actually much care for it. It's wet in Kentucky. Well, being that Kentucky is where all the good bourbon comes from, I'm glad it's not dry. Actually, Wild Turkey is in a dry county. They can give you a drink, but they can't sell you a drink. How's that for interesting? Oh, and they're not just going to give you a drink. Steve, if my neighbors were mowing at 2 a.m. in the morning, well, they wouldn't like it. Let's just say it. They'd find a hell of a time getting their electricity on every third day. I don't know how somebody keeps pulling your can and all your fuses. They're not stealing anything, they're just pulling them all. I'm sorry that all the food in your refrigerator is spoiled. What are you doing that's pissing people off that way? Oh, I'm mowing at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, you're the dumbass that does it to yourself then. Plus, chances are they're not going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning anymore if their alarm clock doesn't go off to wake them up that early. No power to charge your phone. And I'm patient. I can wait for the power company to leave before I go right back out there and crack that power again. Think a guy that was 18 years as an electrician doesn't know how to do that stuff? Shit. Quick and easy. Once you yank the top fuse, the rest of it just comes out like done. As long as you're wearing gloves, you ain't going to leave a fingerprint. By the time they find a flashlight and come out to figure out what in the heck happened, you're already back in your house sleeping. Works real well on those people that like to have house parties until all hours of the night on weeknights also. Okay, maybe I should say the obnoxious level of house parties where they've got the loud stereo systems and people are standing around out in the street with their cars' engines revving and their radios playing just as loud as they can go too. Yeah. People that like to have a house party but keep it so that you can't actually hear it out at the street, whatever, let it go. Oh, there might be headlights on a John Deere, but a John Deere with no wheels ain't going very far. Take that 1-ton jack and that sawzall, take care of it. They'll get tired of buying axles. I don't think there's a law against processing deer, just hunting. True, Boris. And that's why we believe you never sleep. Of course, I know the other side of that is it stays light out during summertime all day long. The sun just never sets. Don't know why I'm still awake. Oh, look at there. 1 minute. 1 minute till Robert. All right, let me get this fun part out of the way. I'd like to remind y'all all. First, take care of yourselves and each other. Do the best you can with that. But remember, you got to take care of yourselves first. Second, as per always, I'd like to remind y'all, it's just an open, fun place for discussion. Come in, sit down, have a good time. If you take it all too seriously, you're probably in the wrong place anyways. And as per always, y'all remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care. I'm going to see if I can't find Robert when he first starts his show. But for 2.5 hours I've been here, so I'm pretty much done for right now. Catch you at Robert's here in a couple minutes, if nothing else. Talk to y'all soon. Bye for now.